The work of Andrew Masters.
Tell me a little bit about where all this stuff came from and why you have it.
So this is my office. I have a very busy day job, and it's also my creative outlet. So I write and record here, and I use this. I'm very connected to the entertainment industry and the music business and the movie business, and so I bring really inspiring people here to make art. It's got a laundry list of incredible people, artists that have been here and used it, even though it's not very old. But so this is a museum. It's a musical instrument museum that chronicles a lot of the history of music. So these are Frank Sinatra's microphones, and here's him actually using a large condenser live. And
Wow.
then here's all the amazing records. These microphones recorded the Beatles, Michael Jackson, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, all kinds of amazing records. This is one of the coolest things that I own. This is Jimi Hendrix amp. It's the Atlas that has the distortion. So it's one of the very first amps that really had a true distortion circuit. This is one of my favorite things in the world. Rudy Sarzo is one of my dearest friends who I just love. And he had a deal with PB to create a bass. This is the prototype. He got in kind of a war with them over where it was going to be made and the materials.
Yeah.
And it sat under a bed for 15 years after he played it for 5 minutes, and then he came over and brought it to me. This is Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones Swope
Holy
GTO.
cow.
Pretty cool. This is Noel Redding's, I believe, the last guitar he ever played before he passed. This is the guitar that sort of a lot of people want to come use. This is John Lennon's 63 Duosonic.
Oh my gosh.
And it is, it's an amazing piece of music history. So I'm a big Fender devotee. Like if you said, are you Gibson Fender? I'm definitively Fender.
Yeah.
And I have so much Fender stuff. But so this is a broadcaster. This is serial number 286, but it has a maple plug instead of a walnut. So it's one of the very first ones ever made.
Wow.
You know, certainly Leo's hands are on that. And if you scroll down here, this is a 1949 Fender Princeton. This is serial number 157. So this is just, you know, absolutely kind of the uterus years of Fender. This is Billie Joe Armstrong's 1960 Magnatone Zephyr.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite guitar amp. This whole wall here, you know, these two Gibsons are probably my favorite guitar amps of all time.
Wow.
Sort of like Phil X's, the guitar amp that he just loves so much. So this one, I just can't even describe the growl that this thing has. This is Mike Ness's 1959 Tennessean. Miles Davis, the last guitar Walter Becker played, I believe, before he died.
Oh my God.
This is really interesting. So this is one of the very first Les Pauls. It's a 52. And it is, it's a flame body. You know, they were gold.
Yeah.
And they made the first few of flame, and then they switched to non-flame. And so this one is one of the very, very first ones. Mike Ness's 55 Esquire. Really cool. Daniel Donato's got a video that was shot here.
Yeah.
That was a lot of people have watched. I'm a giant Marshall Crenshaw fan. This is his Epiphone Coronet. So I have another one where he played it for me, but this one he recorded a bunch of his hits with. This is definitively a museum, but they're also, this is a creative lab for people in the arts to come and use and make art. And ironically, my day job is I'm the president of Kodak Motion Picture, and so many directors use this room because so many directors make musical art.
Yeah.
And so for sure, if you are making a movie on film, I'm saying, come on over, use it.
Yeah.
This is Ron Woods from the Rolling Stones Vox AC30.
Wow.
Guns N' Roses. It's one of my favorite guitars. It's Walter Becker's Hahn prototype. George Benson's 1920 L1. This is a really famous guitar. We think it's a DiMarzio, but it was Walter Becker's. It's a one of a kind, and it's called the Oh No guitar. And then I'm so stupid and such a Mellencamp fan, I called it the guitar. Yeah, instead of the Oh No guitar. This is one of John Hyatt's most prolific instruments. It was on the cover of 3 albums, his Silvertone 1446. Here are some Fender prototypes. So these are only one in the world versions.
Yeah.
This thing is just dreamy. It's a Rimini 12-string that was owned by the band Sunvolt, and they used it on the Notes of the Blue record and tour. I don't do autograph things, but these are the Everly Brothers, and these resided for like 40 or 50 years in an Indian gaming casino after they played one night there.
Yeah.
And so I just acquired them. Kenny Wayne Shepherd signed this, and then he signed it to Steve, the second coolest person in the canyon. So I'm assuming that means he's the coolest and I am not, which would be very definitive. Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff, instruments owned by Van Halen, one of the Mary Kay prototypes. This is cool. So this is Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters, his Normandy. And so this was a guitar that you'd play and bounce lights off and blind the whole arena. So again, I'm a big Fender historian. So in 1945, Leo and Doc Kaufman made a company called K&F, and they made lap steels. And these three are so primitive that this says magic marker for the fretboard. This has literally inaccurate measurements on the fretboard. It is silkscreened, but fret number 12 is bigger than 13 and 11.
Yeah.
And so, this is really the very beginning of rock and roll.
Man.
And so then...
And then you have all three.
So then there are the instruments there.
Man, that is so cool. Have you tried any of these?
They're unbelievable. Like, I can't even describe how good this sounds. I've got video. I actually had Drake Bell from Josh and Drake the other day in here. He played this and it just sounds amazing. If you think about it, Leo Fender made stuff that is still made exactly the same today. Like, that broadcaster is 1950, and 72 years later, it's exactly the same. I mean, there's not anything materially different. Like, explain to me another product in America that's the same like that.
Yeah.
You go down here, so here is Mike Campbell's Hammertone Mando guitar. So
wow.
It's a 12-string mandolin that's tuned like a regular guitar.
And electric.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Super cool. All of these kind of have some history. Ray LaMontagne, this is what Walter Becker used to use in hotels. This is from a band, the 3 O'Clock. This is a Rickenbacker from 1930 that is literally like the first, like the very, very beginning.
Wow.
I said I was prolific. These are all songs that
oh my gosh.
I've written, and there's more there. This right here is the mixing board. So on Neil Young's Rust Never Sleeps, obviously it was half a live album, and so this mixing board was part of that made that record. So this is the vocal booth, and I purposely wanted this to be also the acoustic guitar room because I wanted a unique sound. I wanted the sympathetic strings, so you have a natural reverb of all that. And it really, so this is the banjo from the Killers, and when you put this in the room or take it out, it's a completely different room sound. I'm a giant fan of Cowlings guitars, so I got a lot of Cowlings jumbos here. Mike Campbell's Taylor 12 from Tom Petty. Here's another John Hyatt. I make a lot of guitars, so this is a guitar that I have my own little pet company, the Bellamy Guitar Company, and so this is a piccolo guitar that I made.
Oh, that's
and really these are all handmade by Danny Farrington. This is, it's funny, Fender, they don't get a lot of kudos for acoustic guitars.
Yeah. In
1980 and I think 81, they made these in Japan, and this is about the best sounding acoustic. It's just amazing.
You said that's a jumbo what model?
So it's a jumbo from Japan. I can't remember the model number, but
okay.
And the back here we have a tech area to where I'm going to change pickups. I'm in the middle of building some guilds, and so I've got some tops. I just sourced these. These are 50 years old from the Carlo Greca era.